peeps, welcome to another video. Today it's another Get the Look for Less video, and I have a few options for you. Most of them are from Net-a-Porter. I think one of them is from Matches. Let's get started because these videos are long. So the first item I came across were these Michael Kors Polkadot Silk Crepe de Chine wide leg pants, trousers. And they are £770. Now it's going to be no surprise to any of you why I liked these. They are high-waisted, they are full-legged. I really liked that there wasn't too much kind of gathering or pleating at the front of these. They are 100% silk and they are dry clean only. £770 is a lot of money. So I found the Vogue 1572, which is the Zandra Rhodes sleeveless peplum top and wide leg pants. Now the top, the fabric that they've made these up in is in your face, for sure. But I thought the trousers themselves were actually very reminiscent of the Michael Kors ones. They have got darts at the front and the back and they have a side zipper, but they are high-waisted, they are full-legged, and there's not too many pleats or bells and whistles going on with them. I think it would be fairly easy to find a polka dot fabric that you could make these from. You may not necessarily want to make them out of 100% silk crepe de Chine though, because yeah, tricky to work with and incredibly expensive, so you might be getting up to the £770 mark. I think that the Vogue 1572 is a very good starting point for getting something that looks like the Michael Kors trousers, and it's definitely something that I would like in my wardrobe. I think they're awesome. I really like those. Next up we have a couple of coats from Alaya. I think that's how it's pronounced. I featured an Alaya coat in a previous video and it was around about the £6,000 mark for a velvet coat, and I suggested the Gertie Butterick Fit and Fur princess coat for that. Gertie has just released the new princess coat from her Charm Patterns line, which is beautiful and would work really well for these ones as well, although the skirts on these are not as full as the new Gertie coat. But there is this double-breasted metallic denim coat which I think is gorgeous. I love the collar, I like the fit and flare nature of it, funnily enough. And then they also did a shearling version. Now the denim version is £2,310 and I don't think it's lined either. It's 70% cotton, 20% cupro, 10% polyester, and it has 100% lamb leather trim. Now I'm not sure where the trim is. Maybe it's on the buttons? No. Maybe it's the belt. Does it come with the belt? Ah, it's on the underneath of the collar. There is lamb's leather trim on the underneath of the collar because you can pop your collar to reveal the leather trim. Yes, so it's £2,310 for the denim one, and then the shearling coat, which does have a slightly fuller skirt, is £7,870. So obviously shearling is a much more expensive fabric than denim, but yeah, £870 is a lot of money. But oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is. That's absolutely stunning. Obviously these are basically the same coat and silhouette as each other. Alaya clearly have a signature style and they stick to that, and it clearly appeals to me because this is the third coat that I have featured from them. But I thought that the Vogue 8346, which is actually a pattern I have in my collection, would be an awesome starting point for to make a dupe of the Alaya coat. You can have the notched collar or you can have a shawl collar. I like the fact that you can also put on a faux collar for that. It has the double breastedness, it has all the different lengths that you could possibly want. We have the cropped one, the just over the knee, the just grazing the knee, below the knee, and then a full length one. So I love this coat. I think it's awesome, and I think it's also a really good dupe for the Alaya one, and obviously it's not going to run you to thousands of pounds. If you made your own shearling coat, it would be an expensive coat to make because you would need a lot of skins to make that. And obviously the larger the skin, the larger the area of the skin that is good to be used, the more expensive the skin. So you can kind of understand why it's expensive, but 7,870 quid is a lot of money for a coat, especially when you can make it yourself with this awesome Vogue pattern. And it's a Vogue basic design. I think it's out of print, but you can pretty much find this everywhere. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. So next we have this Reformation dress, and I really like the Reformation. This one is made out of a floral print crepe. It's a midi dress. It does have a split at the front, which I like. It has a sweetheart neckline. It has the slightly fuller sleeves that are gathered in at the wrist. and overall it's just a really pretty dress. I like the fabric, I like the length of it, I like the neckline, I like the lot of it. And when I saw this, the neckline is what drew me to the pattern, which is the So La Di Da Sweetheart dress. Now I have made this dress and I've made it with the square portrait neck, but I haven't made the Sweetheart version, which you can see here. I've made mine in a stretch cotton sateen, which I really like, but I want to try and make it in a crepe, in a much more relaxed and flowy fabric than the stiffer cotton that I have used previously. I think it would look awesome, and it would be really easy to leave a split in the one side of one of the front panels for this dress as well, to achieve the same look as the Reformation dress, to have the split. I'm not sure I had my split going quite as high as she has hers going there. That is fairly high, but I like the idea of the split. I think that would be cool. Obviously the Sweetheart dress, the So La Di Da dress, the sleeves are fitted and they are 3/4 length sleeves, so you would need to borrow sleeves from another pattern, but that is a fairly easy thing to do, and I think it would definitely be worth it to achieve this Reformation dress look. Now I know that the dress works in a flowy crepey-like fabric because Mum has made herself an evening dress out of the Sweetheart dress in a crepe fabric. She wore it to the dressmaker's ball last year. She made it into a full-length gown as well, and it looks absolutely beautiful on her, and I really like the way that the fabric moved and draped, and it fit and flared as well, because with the flowier fabric the fullness of the skirt was not as evident as it was on some of the cotton sateen dresses that I have made. So yeah, I need to make myself one of these. And whilst I haven't found an exact match for this fabric, which I think we can see better there, there's a couple that I have in my stash that are fairly similar, and there's a couple that are on the textile centre that are also fairly similar, so I think it's definitely doable. Mine would be a viscose print that I would use, because I just really like wearing viscose and working with viscose as opposed to polyester crepes. And this one is, let's see, no, this one is a viscose, 53% viscose and 47% rayon. Fairly sure that they're the same type of thing, but just different names. But please do let me know in the comments down below if I am really wrong on that, because that's very possible. I would follow suit and I would make it out of a viscose rayon, definitely. I'm gonna shop my stash and try and make myself something like this Reformation dress, because I think it is beautiful. Now this is one of the ones that I found on Matches Fashion, and I was looking through and I was just like, okay, this is a checked lame cloak skirt. It is 48% polyamide, 27% polyester and 25% silk, and the lining is 100% silk. But it's basically a circle skirt with pleats at the top, and they were charging £1,990, but it's now on sale 40% off for £1,194. Now I don't have a pattern for this one because I have a whole bunch of circle skirt tutorials on my channel, which I will have linked in the description box down below for you. I actually do want to make a pleated circle skirt tutorial. I just think this would be great inspiration for doing that, because wow, that's a lot of money for something that you can actually draft yourself. As you know, I love circle skirts, and obviously again the fabric and the name are what is making this expensive. But yeah, it was one of those ones where I saw it and I was just like, we can do that, we can totally do that. This next one, I am kind of reaching a little bit with the pattern that I've picked for this. This is a Victoria Beckham dress, so it's this Her Diffusion line. It was $800 and it's now got 30% off and it's down to $560, and it's a pleated print stretch jersey turtleneck midi dress. I think you can all guess which pattern I'm going to suggest for this one, but when I saw this, my overwhelming thought was, that's the Victory Patterns Jackie dress. Totally. I really think that those two are incredibly similar in silhouette. Now obviously the Victoria Beckham one is slightly different. It's not panelled in the same way as the Jackie dress, but I think the overall effect is basically the same. In fact, that's how I style my Jackie dresses, with the same type of ruched boots. That was my immediate reaction when I saw it. It was like, yeah, Victory Patterns Jackie dress. Totally. I tend to make my Jackie dresses out of pontes or stretch velvets. I think this is a slightly lighter weight fabric. We've got, well, it's 93% polyester and 7% elastane. It does have a concealed zip up the back, which the Jackie dress doesn't. I don't think I've ever made anything where I've put a zipper into a stretchy dress. I know I'm going to have to with the Mimi G dress that I want to make, so that's going to be interesting. I think the trick is to interface where the zip goes in with stretch interfacing so that it doesn't do the ripply thing. Don't quote me on that because I've not done it as yet. It's a slightly thinner fabric than the ones that I traditionally make my Jackie dresses out of, but the Jackie dress has a whole bunch of suggestions for fabrics that you can use. They have a whole section of different fabrics that you can use, and viscose knits, jersey, bamboo, cotton, modal, silk, velour, ponte scuba. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of dresses, fabrics that you can use for this, and they don't necessarily have to be the thicker ones that I have been using. I thought that Victoria dress looked very much like the Jackie dress. Next we have the Giambattista Valli, I think I've said that correctly, floral print ruched silk dress. It was £2,838 and it's now half price, £1,419. It is made from 100% silk with 100% silk lining. So again, I kind of stretched the boundaries with this one, quite literally, because this is obviously a woven dress and I have gone for a dress that is designed for a stretch. So the pattern that I've picked is the Vogue 1632, and it is this mini dress with the ruching detail at the front. It doesn't have the ruching detail at the back, which I believe the Giambattista Valli dress does have. Yes, it does. There's ruching over the butt with that one as well. Don't mind the flat back on the Vogue dress. I think that's actually quite nice, but I really do, I like the silhouette of that. And also you get a top, you could use it as a top, and there's trousers in the pattern as well. Who knew? They're not featured anywhere on the envelope. Why is that? I think this is a really good dupe for that. It is designed for two-way stretch knits, stretch velvet, rayon spandex, cotton spandex, and as I say, the Giambattista Valli dress is 100% silk, so it is not a stretchy dress. But I think the stretchy dress would be more comfortable. When I saw the designer one and then I saw the Vogue pattern, it immediately jumped out to me. Now this again is a little bit outside of my comfort zone because it is very fitted over the hips and butt area, and then it's actually quite a short skirt, so this might not necessarily be something that I would perhaps make for myself, although I kind of fancy giving it a try because I do really like that pattern and I do really like that velvet one. But anyway, that was my pick for the Giambattista Valli. How many times can I say Giambattista and maybe get it wrong? Quite a few apparently. The Vogue 1632 was my pick for that dress. If you've watched a few of these videos, you can definitely tell who my favourite designers are because I gravitate towards their stuff repeatedly. And that was another reason that I have asked in the waffle and I've asked in the Peeps group if you guys would like to submit pictures of things that you found in the wild that you think that you don't know what pattern would work for them, and if you'd like me to try and find a pattern for you, because I have noticed that these videos the items that I'm picking are fairly similar to the previous videos that I've done. This is obviously the stuff that I gravitate towards and the stuff that I prefer, but I would like there to be some variety for you guys. If you would like to see something featured in one of these videos, you can send in a picture or a link to this email address and I will do my best to find a pattern that matches for you. I know Jane's already done it with a wallet pattern, which is slightly a bit different because the techniques for making designer bags are very different from the techniques that we can do at home with domestic machines, because they do have very specialised machines for making some of the designer bags, and a lot of them are made by hand as well. But I will try. I will try. I can't guarantee, but I will try. As I mentioned, there's a lot of these things are kind of in a similar vein and the similar types of things because it's my style that's being represented. But I saw these Chloe trousers and I absolutely fell in love. I think they are gorgeous and I would totally wear them. I probably would take some of the buttons off. I think I'd take the buttons off of the waistband, but I like them on the trousers and I thought they were pretty. Again, the pattern that I've picked to represent or to kind of remake these is the Megan Nielsen Flint trousers. I picked them because they have a very interesting way that they do up. They don't have any zips in them. They do up with like at the side with the faux, it's not a faux pocket, but it kind of, there's an interesting way of them being done up. But I think that if you added buttons to the sides of the pockets and if you mirrored the buttons on the waistband, as I have seen some people do, you could definitely get some very Chloe-esque vibes from the Flint trousers. The Chloe trousers are £940 and they're 95% wool, 5% elastane, and they're lined in 100% silk. I like that there's some elastane in there. That would make them very much more comfortable to wear. Silk lining for wool trousers, or any kind of lining for wool trousers, is a must because wool can be incredibly itchy. The Flint trousers are not, they don't have a provision for lining them, but I'm sure that we could work something out if you did need to line them because you were using a wool. I have the Flint trouser pattern, I've not made it yet, but I have seen some amazing versions in the wild, and as I say, when they mirrored all the buttons and things, it looked very kind of sailor-esque, which I like. If you went down the route of a tan fabric and some gold buttons like this Chloe one, again, that would look really, really awesome. So next up we have this Galvan satin camisole, and again it's in the sale and it's reduced from £195 to £136.50, so that's 30% off. It comes in a whole range of colours. I've picked the pink one because it gives you the best kind of look at the lines of it. It does have a v-neck at the front and at the back, and it does have shaping and darts at the bust, and I believe it's cut on the bias as well because it slips on and it's quite fitted. It is 80% triacetate, 20% polyester, and the lining is 100% polyester. That's a lot of money for polyester. Now, there are lots and lots of camisole patterns out there on the market. I've not gone for the Ogden cami because the Ogden cami is a lot more flared, and this one, as I've said, is more fitted. I have gone for the Camilla camisole from Tessuti Fabrics. It's not exactly the same, but it does have a bit more fitting in it. So the Camilla camisole has fisheye darts at the back and is cut on the bias as well. So it's very figure hugging as opposed to some of the other camisole patterns that I have seen. It doesn't have the v-neck, but that would be a fairly easy alteration to make, I think, and would be something that I would definitely be up for doing. I just really liked the way that this is put together. The instructions are really well written. Again, I haven't made it as yet. I do think it's a fairly easy make, but again, if you made it in something like a silk, then it would be challenging because of the fabric that you're working with, but it's a simple pattern, so I think you'd end up with a beautiful, beautiful garment that's not going to cost you even £136. And as I say, if you went for a silk, then you'd have a beautiful camisole that you could wear as a top with layering pieces over it, or you could wear it in the summer as just a top. So yes, the Galvan satin camisole really caught my eye because, again, of the shaping that it had in it, and it made me think of the Camilla camisole from Tessuti. Next we have this shirt from Nicholas. It is £357.14, so I'm guessing it is from a foreign designer that Net-a-Porter have then like tweaked the price into English, because the 14p kind of throws me off, but that's still a lot of money. It is 100% silk, and it's a crepe de chine. It's really, really pretty. If you saw my Gold Hawk Road fabric haul, you'll know that I bought myself some sand washed silk in an appley green colour to make the Sew Over It Anderson blouse basically like this, and this is the pattern that I would recommend starting with to make this Nicholas blouse. Now, I love the Sew Over Anderson blouse, I think it's beautiful, but I wouldn't want to make it exactly as the pattern recommends because I think I'd end up with way too much fabric around my hip area. I don't feel that I would be comfortable in that. So I have tried hacking this pattern already to look a little bit like this Nicholas one. I cropped it and put a waistband on it, an elasticated waistband. I'd finished everything off. It was a sheer one, so I hadn't done the facings. I'd finished the edges with bias binding, and I'd gotten as far as I was just French seaming the sleeves in, and I cut through the fabric rather than the seam allowance, so I made a hole in the sleeve. I had erred too much on the side of caution and made the bodice too long by about an inch, so I knew that it wasn't going to be perfect, but I wasn't going to unpick all that work to shorten it. And then when I cut a hole in the sleeve, it was just like, then I'm going to stop and put that one to the side because it's irritating me. And when I saw this Nicholas blouse, I was just like, yeah, it's exactly what I want the Sew Over Anderson blouse to look like, and I am going to be making that this year. I think the Sew Over Anderson blouse is a really good starting point for that. I would want to make the sleeves probably a little bit bigger, a little bit more like bishop sleeves, so that's an obsession of mine recently, but you wouldn't need to do that. And the waistband on the Nicholas blouse is not elasticated. I think it's done up with a button. Is that a button? That looks like a button. So yeah, there's a couple of different options, and I kind of want to make the Sew Over Anderson out of a silk fabric, but I also want to make it out of a stretchy fabric with a stretchy waistband, and I have fabric and plans for that already. So I will be doing a kind of like, this is how I make the alterations to the pattern video to go along with that when I make that one. I'm going to save myself £357.14. That 14p is important. So the last one that I have for you is actually two high-end items with one pattern recommendation. So there is this Balmain belted two-tone rib knit cardigan for £1,395. I've seen a couple of the vloggers I follow wearing this, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I like long line cardigans like this. I used to have one, I lent it to somebody and I never got it back. Still bummed about that, and that was at least 14 years ago. There's this one, and then also the Gucci grosgrain trimmed wool coat, which is £2,250. Now I appreciate one is a cardigan and one is a coat. They are very similar silhouettes. You could very easily make a belt to go with the Gucci coat, and Vogue have released this pattern, which is basically that Gucci coat. I mean, yeah, you couldn't get more kind of like, this is the same thing. And I think, yeah, you get a dress and a skirt with that pattern as well, and I really like both of those. I thought this would be something that you could definitely either make the Balmain cardigan in a kind of like a more relaxed fit, or you could totally channel your inner Gucci girl and make yourself a version of the Gucci coat here. And I actually really like both of those. It's not a fit and flare coat, which is very unlike me, but I really like that look. I'm not sure I'd do it in those colours, but now I'm intrigued. And I have found on Etsy somewhere that sells the grosgrain ribbon that you would need for this coat. So I'm going to link that in the description box down below for you, and I'm going to put a few examples up here. And I have bought some of the elastic from them and made myself a Gucci inspired elasticated belt with that, which actually I gave to my best friend, but I do have enough and another buckle to make myself one, so I need to do that. Vogue with the 1643 have, I mean, we could see where the inspiration came from, but I also thought that the Balmain coat, the Balmain cardigan was very similar as well, and it would be very easy to kind of channel your inner Balmain girl and make it in black and white with gold buttons like this, and I think that would also look awesome. That is my latest Get the Look for Less video, and again, as you can see, matches and Net-a-Porter. I am going to try Moda Operandi. I really like their edit. I want to do one on just the Zimmermann dresses because I am obsessed with everything Zimmermann, and the dress silhouettes themselves are fairly simple. It's when all the insertion trim and the ruffling that gets added on that it makes these dresses like really stand out pieces. So I really want to do a couple of videos using those two places as inspiration for the expensive items. But as I mentioned earlier, the thing that I am noticing is that I am gravitating towards the types of clothing that I love and that I want to wear, which is not surprising because it's me that's picking them. So if you would like to send in something to be featured on the Look for Less video and see if I can find a pattern to give you a starting point to create your fantasy outfit of dreams, send in a picture or a link to this email address here and just put Look for Less in the email title, and I will do my very best to try and find something to help you make your dream item and also feature you in upcoming videos. Which one was your favourite? Which one do you think I should make? I really want to make the Reformation dress. I love the Sweetheart dress. I've already made it fit me. It would be really good because I could do a how to French seam, princess seams tutorials out of that. I could also do Franken patterning sleeves onto different types of sleeves onto that dress as well, so that would be good for a couple of mini tutorials as well. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Which one would you really like to see me make? I really want to make the Elia coat with shearling as well, although I don't have enough money to spend to buy the shearling. But I do have that pattern already, and I do have some fabrics that I love. I think those two are the ones that really stick out to me, the Elia coats and the Reformation dress. But yeah, let me know in the comments which was your favourite. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!